Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. All praises belongs to Allah and peace and blessings be upon the last and the final messenger Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Raheel Ahsan, I believe you're doing artificial diploma in artificial intelligence operations, right?
Yes, yes.
Long ago, you reached me some. I think it was like last year when you joined, right?
Yes, yes, last year.
So,
Yes,
and you were in New Jersey in the States,
in New York.
in New York at that time.
Yes.
On your resume, it says Jericho, New Jersey. Is that right?
Uh, it should be a typo, but I'm in New York.
You're in New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
It
yes.
doesn't matter. Like, okay. So, one of the things I would like to ask you is like, when you joined us at that time, you had zero experience of IT, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. And you called me and you said, like, I'm looking at your resume. It says, just trying to open it. Jericho, New York. Okay, Jericho, New York, USA. It doesn't have the full address, so you need to put in the full address as in the.
Sure.
You just mentioned the city, the
Yes.
county, and that's it, right?
Yes, I will provide, inshallah.
Okay, so it mentions here Bachelor's of Science, BS in Accounting, and Old Westbury, New York, and then you left. You stopped after getting 8 credits, right?
Yes, yes, I left.
The GPA was coming to be at 3.3,
Yes.
mashallah. Associate of Science, Accounting, 3.7 GPA, right? So prior to coming to the States, what was your qualification? Because it's not mentioned here. It might be in your main profile, in the main file, but what was your qualification? Did your intermediate like A levels equivalency or what?
So, like when I started my associate before that, I just did inter from Pakistan.
From
When
Pakistan.
when I came over here, then I had to do some remedial classes because I wanted to enroll in associate. So remedial classes are like they just take some exam, placement exam. So the university, and then they have you take some classes before they enroll you in the final program. So I had to do some classes. So um, my inter I got equivalency here for high school diploma.
Okay.
That's why they let me into the college. So but then again they wanted to make sure that I'm with them on in every situation, especially in English and maths. So I had to take some classes of English and maths first. Then they enrolled me in associates, and that's like we can say half of the bachelor's but with degree. uh,
So
then
you are
yes.
right now at the State University of New York, right?
Yes, yes. But I currently am, I
But
just
you
stopped
you
it.
left
Yes.
the degree and started studying with us. It comes in as 327 in the best global universities in the world. Do you know that? Well, the program is that the same one in the Buffalo, right? Is that the same?
Uh, the the university program is accounting. It's a very good program in accounting, but uh, things were not working right for me, so I had to leave.
Okay. Is this the university? I'm going to share like my screen. Just tell me, is this the university? Right? That's the one, right?
Uh, so SUNY Old Westbury. So SUNY is a network of New York State.
Okay.
Like they have multiple university in the state, but then it further break down into multiple universities, depends on the location. So Old Westbury, where the university is located specifically, SUNY Old Westbury.
Sony
SUNY
Old Westbury. Okay.
Old Westbury.
In your resume, it says 3.3 GPA. So you were doing very well in the program.
Yes, I was doing well. Uh, yes, I was doing well.
But the problem is like even if you do this, there are no jobs for you in accountancy, right? So
Yes, yes.
that's the
Still, I
biggest.
had to do lots of work after I done.
Yes, yes. Now, here's the thing, we're just going to go and Indeed USA. I'm just going to search some things, right? This is the biggest. So if I type in accounting, right? right? So, and if I search online, there are different accountant jobs that you can see, right? It requires a lot of experience and a lot of,
Yes.
you can say, right, work. Now, in cybersecurity, right, in the US alone, you know, there are lots of jobs that doesn't require a lot of experience. And similarly, like in cloud or in AWS, right, you don't need a lot of those things. Now, especially in New York, where you're living, that is the financial capital, or you can say the financial hub, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of positions available for DevOps and SysOps and whatnot, right? So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
assuming that after completing this diploma, it'll be very good for you to go in and see where you can apply for all of these positions, right?
Yes.
I am going to pick up some of the, questions from the job description
Mm-hmm.
as per the topic that you're going through right now, right? Because your topic is PCI DSS.
Yes.
There are tons of companies which are PCI, which requires PCI DSS in the US alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like I would say, uh, globally, right? Globally, how much, money is processed by Visa, MasterCard, you know, and all the card associations, right? So this is the point. $24 trillion. The four major US processors, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover, alone processes worldwide consumers $24.4 million. You know how big the global GDP is? You know
It's
how
in
big?
trillions, but I think it's equivalent
It's
to
almost 100,
American.
it's almost 110 trillion, 100 trillion, right? So out of like 24% of the global economy, money is processed by these four card associations. Now, there is a one which is in China, it's separate, right? So I'm just telling you the perspective. Your topic is very big because wherever you go, there are two kinds of players in the market: merchants and payment processors. And then there's payment gateway, there's acquiring bank, all of these different uh, entities, right? And many other entities as well. Like there are settlers, there's the one who settles the money and whatnot. So this is the global financial network, and PCI DSS is required. Now, this is not the banking. Banking is separate. I'm not talking about banks. This is not banking. This is credit card network, right? Or debit
Yes.
card network.
Yes.
So this is 24.4 trillion. This is only for the credit card. Debit card is separate. So you can imagine globally, this is a huge industry, right? So today your
Very
topic
huge.
is going to cover, it's very diverse. So understand this. When I gave you this topic, I knew your location was in New York, right? Because I asked you, where do you live? Whatnot, right? In your resume, it is mentioned you are working at a funeral home,
Yes.
right? So, and you're also teaching Quran as well?
Yes, I used to teach, but now also, if anyone, just for help, not as a professional, just
Not
for
as a
help.
profession. Okay. I mean, teaching
But
Quran
before, yeah,
because
before
we
I
use,
used, yes, Alhamdulillah, I used to teach full time, Alhamdulillah, and
but it
it
should
was
not
an
be,
honor.
yeah, but it should not
It
be
was
used
an
as
honor.
a profession
Yes,
because
yes,
it's a service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should not be.
yes, yes, for sure.
Okay, so that's good, mashallah. So here's the thing. We are going to start with your presentation. We are a little bit late, a little bit behind. We're going to start. So it is going to start in the next 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll be given 20 minutes to present your 15 to 20 minutes to present all the slides you have.
Okay.
I reviewed your slides last night. Yesterday, I was working on your slides. So I have created questions. The questions have four categories, right? First is easy questions, then is, you know, intermediate level question, then is tough expert level questions. Then there are tough questions, like the toughest, right? So each have different points. I will be asking you 25 questions all in all, right? The presentation has 25 marks, and then the oral exam is 25 marks, right? The passing score is you have to score minimum 50%, right? People have scored very well. Prior to us broadcasting these interviews, some of the people they failed when I took their exams on the phone and as mock exams, and I said, like, you're not ready. Go back and get yourself ready before you come to us, right? In the event if you fail the exam for any reason whatsoever, you have to pay the examination fee again, right? And you have to pay for the exam again. I hope that is not the case because I know that you are a good student. Your GPA is good. Your exam scores are good. Before we submit, in the event if you pass the diploma, before we you submit, before we submit your details to EduQual, you have to make sure that you complete the remaining coursework, right? It's easier. You've already completed most of the things. It's like, as we say in Urdu, an elephant is crossing basically the door. So the whole elephant has crossed. It's just the tail which is stuck, right?
Yes.
So the tail is right. So today you will be going through all the things and you will be making sure like you pass through all of those things. So I hope that you get through all of those things quickly, right? Okay.
Inshallah.
So just be relaxed. It is going to be easier. And after the interview, I will provide you the feedback, right? I'm really happy that I'm seeing you right now and
Mm.
prospering. You had zero experience in terms of IT when you came to me. You were very scared. And I told you, encourage you that you'll be fine.
I'm still scared.
You should not be scared,
Mm.
Uh, should just be relaxed, you will be able to pass the exam. I'm telling you right now. Imagine this that I've been to many funerals, right? Because I go there to give ghusl, like
MashaAllah.
preparing the bodies, because it reminds us like all of us will be there one day, right?
Yes.
So that is an experience that we all have to go through, and it should be done. It's one of the sunnahs as well. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to,
Yes.
right? So, so I hope that you continue doing that community service even after getting a good job, you know,
Yes, I do. For sure. I do. I like to do.
because it's one of the sunnah and one of the community service back to the community. It's very important. So continue doing that. Uh, who knows, like everyone will be there one day, right? I mean,
Yes.
for myself, I ask Allah to, that the day I die, I don't die here. I die in Medina. But like that's my dua in every salah, right? Allahumma inni as'aluka shahadatan fil masjid nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Umar bin al-Khattab used to say, Allahumma inni as'aluka shahada fi baladik nabiyyik sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the city of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Anyway, okay, so let's start. Bismillah. Uh,
Mm.
you can share your screen. Just
Sure.
relax. I'm going to take notes. I have already taken the notes, the questions and everything. So all I'm going to do is uh, I've already been through your presentation because I started doing that, for all the upcoming students in advance now. So just be relaxed. It is going to be a good ride for you and a good experience for you. Just remember this, that I am going to take your interview as if you're going through a job, right?
Yes.
So consider me as an employee. That the whole goal of a NAFE is not to only prepare you academically, no, but to prepare you for the market so that when you go there, you are able to secure the job, right? That is our primary concern. The other thing is like, I would highly encourage you to go and do the Al Razak program labs because
Inshallah.
in the next few months, they will become mandatory on everyone. It's already coming in. So you're passing them because we are changing some of the rules of the exams. So you're already passing through right now. It is, I would say, a bit easier for you than the ones who are coming up, right? Because they have to, because Al Razak program is there and we have thousands of positions in the states. So if you go through all of those things and complete the Al Razak program, we can place you on the job, right? Again, it doesn't matter your appearance. I mean, when I used to work in the States, I used to have the same appearance, right? The cap and the beard and everything, it doesn't matter. What matters is what do you know, right?
Yes.
So after getting this diploma done, I would recommend you to pass some of the exams that you should have. Those are very simple and cheaper exams like Kubernetes exams and ITIL and some of the stuff, because they will take you into the big leagues and you will be able to earn six-figure salaries. Where are you right
Yes,
now?
yes.
You back in US or where are you right now?
Yes, I'm back. I'm back in US.
So there's not going to be any internet issue, right? Otherwise, if
Yes,
you're back home in Pakistan, like there's always an internet problem going on, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, Bismillah. Okay, Bismillah. Start. Please
S-
proceed.
So I'm going to share the screen. I just want to make sure if you guys have it.
Mhm.
So is my screen is shared? I think it is.
It is, yes. I'm just fixing it myself. Yeah. Okay. I can see the whole screen.
Sure.
Show me the first slide.
Yes. Where?
So the topic is PCI DSS compliance on AWS with cloud native and AI solutions, right? It's a very loaded topic. Remember this.
Yes, yes.
All right. Tafaddal. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, my name is Raheel Ahsan and today I'm presenting the oral examination of EduQual Level 6 Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations. The topic of my presentation is PCI DSS compliance on AWS with cloud native and AI solutions. Let's start. So this topic covers four major parts. First one we'll be discussing about AWS AI services and PCI DSS and its implementation with AWS services. Second one will be touching AI-driven architecture and security-based practices in AWS. The third section will be seeing applying AWS well architecture framework with AI enhancement. What are the benefits we can get from it? On the last one, we will be touching the real case study, how a company is using AWS for PCI DSS compliance. So let's go to our first section. PCI DSS Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. These are the standards that formed in December 2004 by 5 major credit card companies like American Express, Discover, JCB, Visa, MasterCard. These standards are the guidelines for companies that stores, transmit, or process any type of credit card data. And this is the global standard and applicable in all over the world, wherever the companies are using credit cards. So the reason why they created this is to prevent credit card fraud and to protect consumer information. I will just share, here is a chart where only in 2023, only in United States, there were 4,703 breaches happened, and that impacted over 52 billion records only in United States. So this shows how important the PCI DSS is, application of PCI DSS in organization.
It's
And
it's
yes,
5 billion. It's not 52.
oh, sorry, it's
5
5
billion,
billion. Yes,
285,403,458.
yes, 5 billion records that impacted. And each breach can cost millions, and sometimes it also lead to shutdown of the business. Let's go to the next slide. PCI DSS has 12 standards and that are fulfilling 6 key goals. And we will see how we can use AWS services to implement PCI DSS. So the first standard is install and maintain a firewall. So AWS has a shared responsibility model. So to separate and each consumer from other, AWS has a very unique service called AWS VPC. It builds your isolated environment. Then you can further divide this into subnets and make your system more secure. Plus, as mentioned, that we need to have a firewall. So Amazon offers a web application firewall. It shields your applications from any kind of threats. And for your monitoring of your AWS resources, we can utilize AWS Car Duty that has equipped with machine learning, and it continuously monitors AWS account from any kind of threats. So the second standard is do not use default vendor settings and passwords. It means like sometime when there is a thing, it comes with the default password. So we want to eliminate this to protect, because it's easy to hack it. So AWS offers a very unique service called IAM, Identity and Access Management. It controls who can do what. And it eliminates we can eliminate the default credentials, and it enforce strong authentications like MFA, multi-factor authentication, or biometrics if possible. Or we can also enforce the strong password practice for each and every user. So this is the third standard, is protect stored account data. So whatever the data is the most valuable asset for any company. And in PCI DSS, it's the sensitivity, it increases. So for protection, we can utilize AWS Key Management Service, Amazon KMS. It can safeguard the data, and it gives the encryption of all the data. Plus, there is an Amazon new service, Amazon Comprehend. It equipped with national language processing. It can extract a certain amount of data, let's say, and also we can utilize it to check out on resources if there is any data available in our resources in plain text. So we can copy that and convert into the encrypted data. The fourth standard is protect cardholder data with strong cryptography during transmission over open public networks. So as mentioned, Amazon VPC is it isolates your data, and we can encrypt our data with SSL and TLS certification, like whatever the data is going in or going out of AWS services. Let's go to the next. So the fifth standard is protect all systems and networks from malicious software. So after all implementation, we need to make sure whatever the systems we have, it should be protected. So AWS has a unique service, Amazon Inspector. It continuously scan the resources like EC2 or other container like things like Fargate for any vulnerability or any kind of malicious activity. It can detect it, and then we can fix it. The sixth standard is develop and maintain secure systems and softwares. So here comes AWS Security Hub. It gives us 360 view of the whole account. So we can use AWS Security Hub for our PCI compliance. It will show us at what are the department where we are lacking. So we can utilize over there AWS Certificate Manager and protect further with SSL and TLS certificates. And then also to store the secret information, we can utilize AWS Secret Manager. Let's go to the next slide. So and the seventh standard is restrict access to cardholder data by business need to know. So there is a principle of least privilege that we have to imply here, and we can utilize AWS Identity Access Management Service. So we can ensure that only authorized actions are performed based on given jobs. So, and plus we can utilize AWS Maze. It is AWS AI equipped service that can also let us know if there is any sensitive data or any sensitive information that need to be protected, or any unauthorized access that is shared outside of the organization resources. So the seventh standard is identify users and authenticate access to systems component. Again, here we can utilize AWS IAM, Identity Access Management. It will ensure that only authorized people can have the access. Let's go to the next slide. So here's the ninth standard, restrict physical access to cardholder data. So it's rare in terms of AWS, but AWS for like companies who are using AWS as their main, it's rare over there. But here we are required to make sure that AWS has its own secure physical data center. So AWS makes sure that its data center are heavily secure, and they have 24/7 advanced surveillance to protect all the data of the consumer. And they have very, very strong measures they took to have their physical data center secured. Here, if a company is using its physical locations, so they can also use AWS recognition. This is a service that organizations can use to detect any of suspicious activity in photos and videos. Like they can attach it with their their camera. They can send this data to AWS recognition, and it can continuously monitor their physical locations for any suspicious or any abnormal activity, we can say. The 10th standard is log and monitor all access to the system components and cardholder data. We can utilize AWS CloudTrail. It can audit and monitor AWS resource usage and with APIs, we can track who is logging in and track all user activities based on the CloudTrail. And AWS config, we can also use it to track configuration and changes to AWS resources to make sure that everything is up to date. So we'll go to the next slide. So here is the 11th standard. That is, after all this implementation, we need to test security of systems and networks regularly. We can sit back and wait for someone break in and do something wrong to the system. As mentioned earlier, that PCI DSS can cost even shutdown of the business. So companies, they make sure it. So and in AWS provides AWS Trusted Advisor. It can scan AWS environment for security and for fault tolerance and for other different things to protect the AWS account. And based on its results, we can remediate those. And also AWS penetration testing. AWS has there are few services that are limited in terms of penetration testing, but AWS provide their third-party services as well, like Nessus, Wazoo, to conduct penetration testing. With penetration testing, we get to know that how strong our security measures are. We can track the vulnerabilities if there is any, and we can even after running this, we can know that where are our weaknesses, so we can improve those. The last one is this 12th standard: support information security with organizational policies and programs. So we need to implement comprehensive security policies that should be aligned with PCI standards to protect AWS infrastructure and the company's resources. So here we are done with the first section. We'll move into the second one. So AI enhanced network security on AWS. So we will be touching some of the AI services in AWS, how we can use them to enhance the security in AWS. As mentioned, that AWS Guardian is a very unique service. It continuously monitors AWS activity. It is machine learning powered, and it can detect anomalies and unauthorized login attempts. And it can continuously think like you have a guard 24/7 guard in your AWS account. So the second one is SageMaker. It's like we can build our own security guard kind of thing. Like we can build our own security based on the given data. So it can predict and detect the potential threats. Again, Amazon KMS, for encryption, we can utilize it. Although AWS is still working to bring in more and more AI services, but for now we have KMS. It doesn't have AI in it, but it helps us to encrypt the data. So let's go to the next slide. So compliance and governance through AI. So here AWS has its service AWS Security Hub. It can pinpoint PCI DSS vulnerabilities, and we can align all the vulnerabilities and fix those if there is any, we get. And also we can, after Security Hub utilizing, we can use AWS Comprehend to analyze the whole logs, because it's like lots of logs to analyze. So it will save time as well, and it will extract key information related to security based on the given input to Comprehend. And last but not least is like we can utilize AWS Lambda for non-compliance. It will trigger scripts to fix any misconfiguration automatically. Again, I will just clarify that Security Hub is not completely AI, but we can utilize it with other AI services. Let's go to the third section. So AWS applying well architecture framework with AI enhancement. Well architecture framework is not a list of do and don't, but actually it is AWS guidelines that helps the organization to build secure, resilient, highly available, high performance infrastructure. With AI, we can enhance it by utilizing artificial intelligence within AWS well architecting framework. We can enhance it, like we can gain operational excellence with smoother operation, like we can automate things. And for security, we can get to know the threats before they occur. For reliability, we can predict and prepare for smooth operations. For performance efficiency, we can optimize for speed and cost. And for cost optimization, we can save money without sacrificing quality. So we'll be going to the fourth section. This is the last section. So this is a case study. It's of a Fiverr. It's an online marketplace. This is PCI compliance, and they have this architecture, and like they implemented on AWS for compliance of PCI DSS. So what basically they did, they utilize application load balancer that is backed by AWS Fargate, that is in separate virtual private cloud like VPC, and in separate account to have more isolation protection of their Fargate. But the database, so they like kind of hired a professional guy for this kind of thing. They outsourced this to the third party who are and that is also PCI compliant. And for like for patching and security management, they utilize AWS Systems Manager, and AWS KMS they utilize for their data protection and encryption. And they utilize AI-powered threat detection service, as mentioned, AWS GuardDuty, with CloudTrail to continuously monitor their AWS account activity and to protect their data. Let's go to the next slide. So here is a little comparison, like how AI can continuously improve the compliance. Comparison between the traditional PCI DSS compliance and how AI can revolutionize PCI DSS compliance. So in the traditional way, it's a manual processing, like log analyzing, it's time consuming. It's like too much things to do at once. But with the AI, with the help of AI, we can enhance it. And manual processing is also cost consuming as well. Because you need more resources to analyze, these kind of things. And with AI, we can enhance it, and we need less resources, and we can get more of it. On the other hand, it's a reactive approach in the traditional way. If we do it, like most of the time, we get to know the security issues after the breach. But with AI, based on the given data, we can, it's a proactive threat detection. We can develop models to predict future vulnerabilities or any security problems. And last but not least, the traditional PCI DSS compliance, we have a limited visibility. It's difficult to identify hidden patterns and potential threats. With AI, we can continuously improve our security model. Like AI itself, like we can get like self-learning AI models, and we can train our own models like SageMaker, etc. Thank you. Any questions, please?
Okay, so we're gonna start with the questions. All right, so there's a series of questions I have, right? Before I proceed, the presentation was good. I'm just going to provide you the feedback on the presentation. You need to set up a flow in terms of how you communicate effectively, right?
Yes,
The flow is not there. It
yes.
is there, but it's partially there, right? You have to be calm, relax, you know, add in some humor to it. Just don't go quickly, right?
Yes.
The other thing is, like, as I said, imagine you're going through a job, basically interview, right?
Mhm.
So if I have to go send you for a Lazard job placement, we won't be able to send you like this. The reason that you have to go through all those preparation time for explaining each and every task is to ensure that you are ready, right? So if I say, okay, we are sending you as a PCI DSS engineer for a job in New York, and there are tons of jobs over there, right? Uh, you, if the employer is sitting in front of you, he's going to ask you, Raheel Ahsan, right? So he's going to say, Raheel, explain to me what is the process of securing our network when it comes to requirement one of PCI DSS, right? So you need to add some humor to it. You need to add some more information to it. Just
Mhm.
don't read the slides. Okay.
Yes,
So you need to be much more proactive. So improve that posturing because this is extremely important for you to be
mhm.
successful. Right? This is the most important thing. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So we're going to have some questions and answer time. You were able to, we started 11, at 11:20, you finished that a little bit early, a few minutes earlier. Okay. So the questions are divided into multiple parts. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Keep this in mind that once you are done with this thing, the AI is going to evaluate each and everything that we have said, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't think that anywhere in the world right now, anyone is using artificial intelligence to evaluate your video and the words that are coming out of your mouth right now in terms of saying, was the answer correct or incorrect, right? So the AI has already evaluated your presentation. Now it's going to go through all of those things. So in easier, there's going to be a bunch of easy and tough questions. Explain to me, what does PCI DSS stands for?
PCI DSS is Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards.
Okay, and to whom this is applicable?
It is applicable to all the organization who stores, transmit, um, or process the credit card data.
Okay, it is applicable to any entity that stores, process, or so that's the right answer, actually. Okay, all right. The second question is, which AWS service is used to create an isolated network with AWS for secure data transmission, processing, and stuff like that?
AWS VPC Virtual Private Cloud.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. So can you do microsegmentation through VPC?
Yes, we can utilize subnets and we can divide the VPC.
What is meant by microsegmentation?
Microservice we can, so VPC is like a whole house, so we can divide the VPC and like we can make more rooms into the VPC. You can create more rooms in a way. Yes.
So, microsegmentation is like a host sitting on the same subnet, two hosts. In a traditional network, when they sit on the same network, they can still talk to each other
Yes.
because their gateway is the firewall, right?
Yes.
But in the cloud microsegmentation, even if the two hosts are sitting on the same subnet, they can't talk to each other. They can be cordoned down, right? So you can create multiple different rooms.
Yes.
Each room will have its own windows and doors.
It's one
You
window and door.
open them,
Yes.
it's all, so by default, it's all, closed, right? Okay.
Yes.
So you need to come up with better explanation during the interviews. Remember, this is your interview for a job, right? Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I have a job description in front of me in New York for a PCI DSS consultant, right? Because that matches the topic that you're presenting to me right now. Okay. Um, what is the primary function of identity and access management in a PCI DSS environment? What do we do?
So
Identity.
the primary function is is um, to limit the access and like to give the access to the people who like to give the access to the people who are actually required it, and to save the access outside, not to go outside of the organization.
That's a good answer, but it could be, identity and access management controls, who can access resources, ensuring that only authorized users can perform specific actions, which is critical for maintaining PCI DSS compliance, right? It can
Yes.
be AWS IAM, it can be some other IAM, it can be CyberArk, it can be any other solution which are available in the market. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you configure it, right? Good answer.
Thank you.
Okay, which AWS service can continuously scan for vulnerabilities and malware to protect your systems and network? This is a very easy one because I saw that in your solution.
Yes. So it's Amazon Inspector.
Yes.
Yes.
So can I confidently say that Amazon Inspector meets some of the requirements of vulnerability scanning
Yes.
within the network? Okay,
Yes.
all right. As we proceed, the questions will get tougher, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of AWS key management in securing card stored data? Like, what does it do?
So AWS Key Management Service, it actually encrypts the data, so the data becomes unhackable if in case it gets to the bad hands, to the wrong hands. So the data still be secured because it's encrypted. So it helps the data to encrypt. Like it helps the company to encrypt the data.
No, no, no. Well, like, what does it do? Like, yes, it helps in the encryption, but
Mhm.
the the name is key management service. What does it do in
Yes.
security? What does
So key management service is it convert the plain data into encrypted one and provides
no,
the
no, no.
keys.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the answer is like the AWS KMS, key management service, essentially secures the encryption and decryption keys, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Right. That's the job. It's like a keychain. The keychain, what does it do? It keeps all the keys. So when you have to start the car, you grab the, KMS and say, okay, I want to start the car, encrypt the data, decrypt the data, encrypt, decrypt. But the keys are stored in the KMS. That's the answer. That's okay. What role does AWS CloudTrail plays in the PCI DSS compliance?
So AWS CloudTrail, it monitors the API calls. Um, like it actually track the login activity, we can say, when the whoever is login. So AWS CloudTrail has a track of that.
So you can say that it keep tracks of all the logging and uh,
Yes.
the all the systems and applications and infrastructure. Okay.
Yes.
All right. How can AWS recognition be used to enhance physical security for PCI DSS compliance?
So AWS recognition has a feature, it's called object detection, and it detects like not only objects, like people as well, and we can also use it for like custom models, and whatever we want to detect, we can also put into AWS recognition. For here, AWS recognition can be used like to detect for videos and images, any kind of suspicious activity, like any like unauthorized person, if coming up from in an unauthorized um, area where it should not be. So AWS recognition can help us
So
to
essentially, if I have a physical data center, right, and there's a camera there, and someone comes in and he wants to access the data center, right? So as soon as he enters the data center area, which is allocated to me by bypassing everything, the camera picks it up and it sees someone there, which it doesn't recognize this because all the staff members already have their photos, their facial recognition pattern stored, right? So what it does is basically it alerts that within the database I have for all the facial recognition patterns, this is a new person. He should not be given access to it. So it can tell you and just say access denied because you can present to me your physical card and everything, but I can't recognize you, right? So organizations have already started implementing this technology right now, right? In fact, one of the requirements for KYC, know your customer, what we are doing is we are asking people to submit their, facial recognition, their video, right? Where they explain to us like, I'm Raheel Ahsan or I'm Muhammad Faisal and I'm studying this diploma, etc., etc. So we are keeping their voice imprints and their facial recognition imprint, right? Well, now
Yes.
we are using a different model for that, and like AI model for that, which does all of those things. But I'm essentially saying like this is how organizations are using it. So remember this thing, right? Because in the interview, you can say, what kind of controls you can design to secure our access to the data center, physical data center. You can say, we can keep track of all of those things, Amazon facial recognition patterns and stuff like that, right? And make sure like we secure it, right? Keep this video safe because when you go for the interviews, this is going to help you out. Because the resume that we're going to make for you is going to be as per PCI DSS compliance, right? And cybersecurity. So that's where you have to shine in through and show all of the things that you have done, right? Because that's going to help you making sure that you are able to explain all the key things. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the next question I have is, hold on. Okay, so that was good. Explain to me secret manager. AWS secret manager in PCI DSS compliance context. What does it do?
So it um it works like as like like a secret wall where you put your valuables. So it store the keys and the passwords. So in like it can, yes, it store the keys and the private keys and passwords and also protects them. Yes.
So essentially, it's a place where you can securely store and manage sensitive information like passwords, API
Yes.
keys, database passwords, credentials, preventing any unauthorized access, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. How does Amazon comprehend, assist
Mm-hmm.
in minimizing the storage of sensitive data in plain text? What does it do?
Sorry, can you repeat, sir?
You mentioned Amazon Comprehend. Like, how
Mm-hmm.
does Amazon Comprehend assist in minimizing the storage of sensitive data in plain text?
So we can utilize Amazon Comprehend, let's say if we don't want data to be in plain text, we can utilize Amazon Comprehend to scan our S3 bucket to if there is any data. So Amazon Comprehend will extract that and let us know that there is data that is in plain text, and then we can take care of the data and encrypt that data.
So, what is Amazon Comprehend essentially?
So it's actually natural language processing service,
Yes, that's the key thing.
NLP.
Remember this. It's an NLP, right? It's an NLP
Yes.
service. So it acts as a DLP, data loss prevention. What it can do is it can go in, scan the network, your S3 buckets, are there like any card data which is unencrypted or whatever the case is,
Mhm.
acting as a data loss prevention and going there and say, okay, this is data is identified, redact the numbers, do this, do that, so that even if it even if it's compromised, it has zero value, right? Remember this. This is very
Yes.
important. Okay. All right. So looking at your presentation. Give me 1 minute. Okay. That was a good answer. That was a good one. Okay, Amazon Comprehend. Describe the use of VPC in securing data transmission over public networks. What does it have that you can do it?
So VPC, so over public network, virtual private cloud, we can implement SSL and TLS certificates in VPC. So it will encrypt the data over the public network and secure the data.
Okay. All right. So question number 11, that was not the right answer. Okay. Just want to let you know. The Amazon VPC for the public network, it can create, a private network, a VPN, a virtual private network with AWS, where data is encrypted and isolated from the public access, enhancing security of data during transmission, right? Okay, that's okay. What is the significance of not using default vendor settings and passwords in the context of PCI DSS? Why do they keep on emphasizing do not use default username and passwords?
So because it's easy to hackable and hacker, it's like it's very easy for them to hack whatever the company has, because if there is a default, so default everyone knows that um, kind of thing. So that's why PCI DSS enforce it that do not use it. So that's why we can use the services that can help us to remove the defaults and create our own secure passwords and stuff like that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. How can AI model in AWS SageMaker be used to predict potential security threats? What do we have to do?
So we need to actually train the model. We need to
Hmm.
give them the data, lots of data, and then based on our own needs, then we can the SageMaker will consume the data it's like the large amount of data they want. SageMaker needs. So then SageMaker, based on that data, it will like whatever we want from the data. Let's say we want a security, so we will give them the data according to that, and it will SageMaker then will give us based on the data the security measure that we should take, we should implement. Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to show you something in the end, which is very
Mhm.
important for you to understand because we are implementing as part of the Al Razak program. There's a lot of new things in there, right? That
Mhm.
you must do to make sure that you are secure, that you know about all of these things. Uh, what do you know about? This is the toughest question you can handle, right? What do you know about ISO 42000? Have you ever heard about it?
I heard about it and I read about it, but I forgot.
What is it? What was it about?
Uh, these are the standards that can help in PCI DSS compliance.
So let me show you something about, how we are using, we have a solution known as Albari, right? What
Yes.
we're doing in Albari is that we are looking into all the key things, right? So AIMS is Artificial Intelligence Management System, just like ISMS, right? We have
Yes.
ISMS, Information Security Management System. There's BCMS, Business Continuity Management System. Now there's a new thing known as AIMS, Artificial Intelligence Management Systems. All the companies in New York and in the US right now who's implementing AI, they're already setting up these new departments. And the people who know this are zero. So if you know this, even if you have a big beard, like a longer beard, like a Amish, you know, or if you dress like an Amish, they will pay you $200,000 to come in and prepare this thing. It doesn't matter to them, right? So remember, you need to do Al-Razak, because in Al-Razak, I am explaining and teaching Al-Bari implementation to our students. These are all the models that you can have. There is Meta, AI, Llama 2, Llama 3, different contexts, different models, right? What GPU does it need? Because what use cases there are, content writing, academic research, NLP tasks, and stuff like that, right? Doesn't have image recognition, Llama 3, but it does other things, right? Uh, there's Ethereal, GPT-J, GPT Neo X, Mistral. There are different kinds of things. And then there are the proprietary ones you already know about, GPT-4, GPT, OpenAI, Anthropic Cloud, which is used by AWS, Google Bard, which is now Google Gemini, and Microsoft Azure, which is essentially using AI, right? So that's the key thing. There are a list of documents that you need to understand. So I'm teaching all of these new things in the Al-Razak labs. And you can only do these labs once you complete, all the courses and everything in AI, right? And the AI ops, right? This is part of the AI ops. So you're going through all the key things that organization needs to develop. Because right now, there is only one company in the world, right, which is in Saudi Arabia, which is compliant. It is the first company in the world which has acquired this thing, right? SDAIA receives new ISO certification. It is the first global entity in the world which has this,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to go to Saudi Arabia right now, uh, do you have the US passport, right?
Yes, I have.
If you want to go right now to Saudi Arabia, they will pay you gladly 40 to 50,000 reals per month for this job, because there's only one company. Now, if you learn the same thing and do this there in US, you will earn $200,000, right? But know your roots. Always go back to the funeral homes, you know, and play your part in the community. Don't leave the community. Be part of the
Yes,
community.
for sure.
Most important thing. So know this. I'm already teaching this. So all the next generation technology teaching is now in Al-Razak. Everyone needs to come up there to pass EduQual Part 1, Part 2 exams, all the courses. Then they will come in the final 1 month of intensive course that I'm offering here, which is all live that I'm talking about. So please try to climb up and do all of these things, okay? Because
Yes,
this is
inshallah.
extremely important for you, right? All the top things, I'm now leaving them basically separately, right? And that's what we will be teaching in UK and the USA. By the way, we are planning to open a campus in the US. It might be in New York. It may be in New York. So who knows? Like I may see you, right?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
okay.
So there's another thing that you have to learn, right? And we are teaching you that is Olama. Olama is something that you can run on your computer, and you can play with these models, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can play with all the models that you want, and you can connect them and build up your own artificial intelligence operation tasks for DevOps, SysOps, and all of these things, right? So, so remember this. This is going to help you out significantly. We are doing some next generation stuff in there. So you have to climb up,
Mm-hmm.
because the Olama have all the models and all of these PCI DSS, wherever there is text, data, log data, whatever, right? You can ask the AI to analyze the logs and give me analytics, and it can give you all of those things, right? So when you go for the interviews and say, well, we are looking for a PCI DSS engineer, what kind of engineer are you? So you can say, I'm the kind of engineer who can implement cybersecurity, offensive security, digital forensics, GRC, DevOps, SysOps, AI, all infused together with an artificial intelligence operations by utilizing some of these open source models, large learning models for you. If you don't want to invest on infrastructure, we can easily use some of the models from OpenAI, right? So organizations are already working on that right now. In Saudi Arabia, that's the number one company, which is the only first body. So others are coming now. They want to be the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, right? So everyone wants to be there. Just like Abu Bakr Siddiq. he used to say, who was Sabbaq? He was the first. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu said he was the first in everything. Umar bin al-Khattab said he was the first in everything. So everyone wants to be the first in everything. By the way, we are already complying with this thing. So, but to get the certification audit, you have to chuck out like $50,000, $60,000. I don't want to do that, right? So I'm compliant with it. It's fine. I don't want the certification, just like the Saudis, but companies are going for it. So what I'm teaching you is how to sell yourself when you go in, right? You're performing very well, by the way, in all the exams so far. Okay. The next question I have is going to be question number 14. How does Security Hub contribute to the maintaining of PCI DSS compliance? What does
So
Security does?
Security Hub is basically gives you like 360 view. Let's say you want PCI compliance. It also helps in other compliance too. So Security Hubs gives you your AWS account holistic view. So you can see what are the resources are compliant, and if there's any non-compliant resource, it will tells you that as well. So you can fix that.
Good.
And
Okay. Okay. In what ways can AI drive automation improve the effectiveness of PCI DSS audits? In what ways it can do?
so AI can help in automation. It can automate the process. Yes, we're gonna still need some manpower, but it's not gonna be that much. That basically lots of let's say example of log analysis. We can use AI because there are hundreds and thousands of logs, and in just in amount of few seconds or few minutes, AI can help us to analyze the logs and the findings based on the logs in lieu of PCI DSS, and help us improve
AI
our
can drive automation,
yes
can improve the effectiveness of PCI DSS audits by
yes
continuous monitoring culture, compliance configuration reviews, detecting deviations in real time, almost real time, and automating the remediations if you want to go and do that for non-compliant issues, like if any port is open and the service is open, go and disable that immediately. We don't want to do that. All of these things. If you see any unencrypted data within the system to Amazon Comprehend or whatever, go and do that. Now, by the way, companies are now not using AWS services for these things. They're usually looking at open source models. So the models I showed you are the models that are right now being used, right? So if you know these models, then you will be in a position to implement, all of these things. I'm going to show you something which is very important for you to understand how we are implementing, you know, uh, basically aims, right? So you can see we started doing all of those things, since like it was concentrated. Now we are doing it in a very concentrated fashion. So there's a new department now, right? The SysOps is doing it, SEO is doing it, SNS, sales and support, portal operations, marketing operations, DevOps. In DevOps, we have front end, back end, data entry, we have QA, all of those guys, data ops, creatives, quality assurance, AOC, Al Razak team, AI ops, all of these guys, customer delight. You know what customer delight is? It's the main organization which like participates in creating all the data. Everything is now going into our LLM, large learning model, right?
yeah.
This is what organizations are looking for. So when you go in and you say PCI DSS 12 requirements, we can push in all the data together into one bucket, and we can create the large learning model for that, which can gives us deep insights into what is happening. Okay,
Yes.
that's how you have to deal with them. All right, so question number 15 was good. Question number 16. Explain how AWS well architectural framework, when enhanced with AI, can optimize cost management for PCI DSS compliant. That's a big problem, for companies.
Yes. So AWS well architected framework. So what we can do, we can gather the data, let's say the data of the resource usage, and where are the like what are the data is what type of resources are consuming the cost, and we can gather that data and we can feed that to AI, and AI will help us and give us remediations for to save the cost based on the given data, and then we can improve from there and save the money from for the organization.
Okay. I mean, it's an answer like could have been better worded, right? You need to, your stuff, but you have to prepare answers, like AWS Well Architect Framework enhanced with AI can optimize cost management by using AI to analyze resources utilization, identify underutilized resources, and recommend cost-saving strategies while maintaining PCI DSS compliance, right? That's how you have to answer in the interview. Okay.
Mhm.
But I will take that. I will take that. Okay. Now, how does AI enhance encryption management, improve data protection in an AWS environment? How does it, now we're going into the AI questions, right?
Mhm. So how AI can enhance encryption?
Yes.
So yes, as a let's say if we can utilize like there is a Amazon Comprehend National Language Processing Service. We can it's like one of the department of AI and NLP. So we can utilize it and the data, and it will collect the plain data for us. So we can encrypt that data based on the findings.
No, 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 no. So look, the question was how does AI enhance encryption management, improve data protection in WSMAM? So AI enhance encryption management improves data protection by using machine learning to detect anomalies in key usage, automate key rotation, keys needs to be rotated, right? As per the PCI DSS requirements, requirement 3, and dynamically adjust encryption levels based on sensitivity of data, ensuring compliance with PCI DSS compliance, right? That's what needs to be done.
Yes. Okay. Get it.
That was a tough question, by the way, right? So that was a tough question. So, all right. So we are halfway through. Question number 18. We're almost getting there. Discuss the challenges, you know, uh, of traditional PCI DSS compliance methods, faces, and how AI addresses these challenges. What are the challenges right now in the existing PCI DSS, and how can AI be used to enhance and address these challenges?
So I will just name few. So like there are challenges like
What is the number one challenge? Number one challenge in PCI DSS that everyone dreads. Oh man, we have to do that.
number one challenge is
Let me give
like
you an example. Let me give you an example. Like, so what happens is that every system is creating a record. So if we have 200 systems, we have 200 records that needs to be reviewed. What are those records called? What do we call them?
uh,
Logs, log analysis.
yes, log analysis. Yes.
Log analysis is number one problem in PCI DSS compliance.
Yes.
Everyone dreads, right? You have to look at the IDS logs, IPS logs, firewall logs, switches logs, router logs, application logs, infrastructure logs, logs over logs and over logs and over logs. And like it's an endless cycle.
Yes. And with AI we can, yes.
And millions of logs are being created. If you have a system of 200, 300 servers and applications, uh, you know, millions of logs are being created. What we have done is we have implemented, Llama 3.1. And what it does is it reads the data continuously and gives us a snapshot. Application is about to be broken down. Cloud service is not going to work. This might happen anytime. Please look at this, look at that. It is, and now we are training it, and slowly and gradually we are saying, okay, we can give you access so that you can go and remediate the issue. So the biggest traditional challenge is there's a lot of work to be involved in PCI DSS compliance, manual work, right? We have limited visibility because when something happens, then we know something happened, right?
Yes.
but like, so we need to have that visibility. So that visibility is very important, right? Okay. All right. So as we are moving forward, questions are getting tougher, as you can see,
Yes.
right? Uh, okay. So how can AI-powered threat detection tool like AWS Guard DoD be integrated with WellWS Architect framework to enhance PCI DSS compliance? How can we do that?
So AWS Car Duty can it can continuously monitor the AWS resources. It has a machine learning. It is machine learning powered. It will continuously monitor the data, and we can implement the AWS well-architected framework guidelines. Like we can uh, check those guidelines, and based on the guidelines, we can utilize Guard Duty to secure the AWS resources.
It's good. That was a tough question. So essentially, AI-powered threat detection tool like AWS Guard Duty can be integrated with AWS Well Architect framework to enhance PCI DSS compliance by providing continuous real-time monitoring, automating threat response, threat detection, and aligning security measures with the best practices for operational excellence. See, this is how you have to respond. This is the difference between a CIO and engineer. You will get there, inshallah, you will get there, but the goal here is to prepare you. So take this as your interview
Yes,
preparation,
yes, inshallah.
right? All right, question number 20. We only 5 more questions after this. Describe how AI can be used to continuously improve PCI-DSS compliance in a dynamic AWS environment. What do we have to do? Like, what can we do? I've already given you lots of words, LLMs, this and that. I've already showed you all of that thing.
Yes. So AI, like based on the AWS resources, resource usage, we can gather the data and we can create our own AI models into the AWS that, like I said, the AWS service SageMaker, just an example. So we can train then our own models. So it will continuously improve. Like based on the findings, it will give us suggestions and continuously improve
So
our AWS resource.
that's a good
Yes.
answer. I mean, it could be said AI can be used to continuously improve PCI DSS compliance by deploying machine learning models that adapt to new threats, automating the enforcement of evolving compliance, uh, and continuously auditing, right? And refining security measures and adjusting them as per the business requirements. Now, I want to ask you something. If there are two organizations, right, and they're both using SageMaker, there's organization one, which is a retail merchant. There's organization two, which is a payment card processor. Will both of them will have the same kind of models when they're training their models, or will they be different?
It's gonna be different because both organizations gonna have a different type of workload and different type of activities.
Good, Raheel, I'm very proud of you, right? This is extremely important for you to understand. Every model will be different. There is no one size fits all. Like when you go and buy a cap, right? A P cap, like a T.
Yes.
It says one size fits all. There is no one size fits all LLM for anyone. Everyone is going to use their own LLMs, right? So this is extremely important for you to understand, right? This is the most important question because in the interview you will face that. Okay, what are the key considerations when implementing AI enhanced disaster recovery strategies in AWS to meet PCI DSS requirements? PCI DSS talks about BCP and DRP. How can we use AI to meet those PCI DSS requirements for BCP and DRP?
So for disaster recovery, we will we need to first implement the AWS highly available infrastructure. So in case of any failure, there should be backup, and we can use AI to predict that based on the past findings. That in case of this failure, AI can suggest and save us from any further disaster. Plus, it can save us from any data loss as well.
Extremely,
While yes,
It's very good. It's a very good answer. Okay. This is the final question I have. I'm just going to ask you a very loaded question, right? Okay. If you have to recommend something to a company to implement PCI-DSS compliance, right? What is the single most important thing to consider when designing and architecting the system? Like, for example, how do you determine which systems will be under the scope of PCI-DSS compliance? I mean, you can't implement PCI-DSS in the whole company. You have to limit the scope, right?
Yes.
How do you determine that?
So I think based on the sensitivity of the data and let
Think. This is a loaded question with 3 points. This is the final question. I've lumped up 23, 24, 25 together to ask you this question. How do you determine that PCI-DSS is applicable here, but it's not applicable here? How do you do that?
yes, it's um, the company if we will see the where is the credit card activities happening in the company, and we will let's say the company has 10 departments with the credit card activity in the 3 departments, so we will be implementing the compliance in those 3 departments that are taking or processing the credit card information.
All right, so that was a good interview. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time, Raheel.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
What
I
were you?
was anxious in the beginning, but then things looks little more smoother afterwards.
Why? Why was that?
I think it's because of the flow. When we start something, the uncertainty it go away, and then you just feel like it's normal.
It's because of knowledge and skills that you have now. I believe that no professor can teach you what we have taught you so far, right?
Yes, yes, alhamdulillah.
This is the implementation.
Yes,
You will find the implementation, like, you will in your life, you will meet two kinds of scholars. Since you're a Muslim, I'm going to give you an Islamic example. In your life, you will find two kinds of scholars. One scholar is a scholar of practice, who is out there practicing, learning everything he knows. One scholar who's just sitting in the masjid doing nothing, right? So are they both the same? No, they're not both the same. Is their pious level both at the same? No. If a person is just sitting in the masjid doing nothing but praying, versus a person who's praying and is also working, there's a big day and night difference. So the companions of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ were different, right? They were at this level because they were working, they were striving, they were working hard, they were studying. Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu used to his Ansari brother, can't remember his Ansari brother name, when he migrated from Makkah to Medina, he used to tell him, like, one day you go and spend time with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I will take care of your business and my business. The second day I will go there, and then you will take care of my business and your business. And that's what they used to do, right? So that's how that Ansari brother became Ansari, and that Umar bin al-Khattab became Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, right? So that's a scholar. So you are now an engineer with practice, right?
Inshallah.
Uh, I'm just calculating your scores right now. Do you want to know your scores?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so all right. So we had a good time. I'm honestly going to say to you, it was good.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm going to give you your scores. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You have scored 87%.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, okay?
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah allazi bi ni'mati tutimmu salihat. All praises to
Inshallah.
Allah from whom good things are accomplished. I'm really feeling proud that if I send you to EduQual and if they want to interview you, they can interview as much as they like, because they will do that. But I'm proud of you that you'll be, if you can crack my interview, you can crack any other interview, right?
Yes, inshallah.
So in the presentation, you scored 22 out of 25. The reason you lost 3 marks was because the presentation was very dense, too many pictures, icons, and whatnot. It's a message for everyone who's listening, our students, that they should not do that. Okay, they should keep it clean and plain and simple. But they were all the points were there, and the interview you scored 21 and a half out of 25, right? Again, you know the subject, but you have to learn how to speak eloquently, right?
Yes.
And precisely,
I will
because you
work.
learn the lingo of how things needs to be communicated in the organization. Now, here's my take. 87% is very good. You are coming in the top 5% over here right now. Okay. Um, this is a good score. And I believe that when you go for any interview for PCI DSS compliance, you'll be able to crack those interviews. Now, I'm going to recommend you to please go and register for Al Razak Labs. Okay. This is
Mhm.
extremely important for you. Start doing the Al Razak Labs because you have to follow the process, record the video, and send the video. The video will be analyzed by our Al Bari artificial intelligence platform, Bari, which is known as Bari. Al Bari is the name of the project. We can't name solution Al Bari because that's the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We can only say Al Bari. The project name is Al Bari. So Bari is our AI, so it's going to evaluate what you have done. So there's a lot of labs in there, right? There's an internship program which is about to start in a week time, right? So you should register for that as well. There's a 1 week internship for cybersecurity. Other one is for offensive. Then the other one is for DevOps and SysOps and AI. There's a lot of topics in there, a lot of tasks in there. Try to crack them as much as you can. Okay. Uh, you have tons of opportunities of working here. My recommendation to you is work in the States for 1 year, 1 to 2 years, then head to Saudi Arabia. You can earn phenomenal salaries because
Inshallah.
in the Middle East, they are trying to implement, and they throw away money left and right in the Middle East, but they're getting smarter now. They are now realizing, like globally, the global cybersecurity market is $300 billion, you
Wow.
know, and out of that, 10% is spent in one country. What is the name of that country?
USA?
No, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi.
It's a small country in terms of population and even in the size, but they're spending so much in cybersecurity. So if you go with these skills and say, I'm here to work as an artificial intelligence engineer in your cybersecurity department, I mean, you can move mountains, man, inshallah, right?
Inshallah.
So I'm really proud of you, really happy. Uh, you know,
Thank you
uh,
so much, sir, for your time.
some time ago you contacted me and you were scared, and now you just passed my interview. right? How was the interview?
Mm.
Was it tough? Was it easier? Was it getting tougher slowly and gradually? You know?
Um, it was not that tough. That I thought it's gonna be more tougher.
Yes. The reason was you knew
So
the answers because you knew all the topics very well, right? I asked you about all the possible elements as per your presentation, right? There was AWS well architect, there was a PCI-DSS questions, questions related to solutions, questions related to AI. The large learning model questions I've asked, no one was able to answer that, right? So uh, the reason you have confidence now is because you have been through all of those things, and now this is going to help you. You know, our goal is not to fail anyone or not to pass anyone like that. We want to evaluate them because when you go out and you start working, you are representing a Nafi, you are representing EduQual. So that when the employers, because on the diploma, it doesn't say anywhere about a Nafi, it says EduQual, right? When we get the OFS charter, then it will say a Nafi degree, right? Right now it's all EduQual. So we want to make sure that we set the high standard so that when you go there out there and when you're evaluated, right, by the employers, they say, oh yeah, this guy is EduQual certified. He's a great pick. You know, he's a great find. And he's doing a great, phenomenal job in the company. That's what we are creating. Okay. Um, Continue doing your work. The academic
inshallah.
operations reach out to you if there are any kinds of gaps whatsoever to be completed and fulfilled, right? I wish you the best, and
Thank
I
you.
hope to see you once I'm in New York. Please come by. I will let you know once I'm coming in. I will be
Inshallah.
letting all of my students to know. We are planning to either open our place in Texas or in New York. We may open it in New York, right?
Yes, please come in New York. New
Yes.
York is
So
yes, kind of
uh,
more.
there's a good community. It's a Democrat state. No, I have nothing against Republicans, but like the inclination is toward Democrats for various reasons whatsoever, right? But we will be opening that, and that's a great place to work for. And we are looking to serve the community,
Inshallah.
all the communities of color, the Mexicans, the Asians, the South Asians, and all the people, the Africans, right? So that they can prosper because this whole project was started to make education accessible for everyone. So whoever that person is, Caucasian or Black or whatever he's coming from, or wherever he's coming from, no matter how they identify themselves, we are here to serve them to make sure that we make them successful and set them up for their successful careers, right? Thank you for your time, Raheel. Do you have any
Thank
questions
you,
for?
sir. No, sir, thank you so much for your time. Jazakallah khair for everything.
Barakallah fi, and keep on doing the good work, complete all the things so that we can submit your things and we get the things rolling up. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.